Panels, the government team rely on two basic premises. First, school is not relevant places in 21st century. And secondly, parameters of happiness is about how much money you have. And the moment we can prove to you that in our side education, happiness will be better, we will win this debate. But first of all, let us characterize two things for this debate. First, the government team coming into the debate and saying that education goal is limited on achieving success about what you are. But we believe that education is also about about how emotional relationship will be happen on our side, about how do we going to interact with people, and also how do we going for the community and emotional connection. And we believe that formal school is the exclusive way and places to reach all of those parameters. That's why government team cannot justify this motion anymore. And secondly, they say that happiness is only about how successful you are. But let's take a look on Japan, for example, on how exclusive and how adorable their economy, how their creative industry, etc. But does their citizens happy? Of course not. That's why happiness is not just about how successful you are, but also how you get a meaning in your life, or how do you get recognition from the public, interacting with people, etc. And we believe that non-formal education never tell you about those emotional relationship, which is significant for happiness of children itself. And now moving to my point of rebuttals, I have 2 points. First, they said that this is going to be in line with the interest of parents, but our response is no, because the interest of parents seeing their children happy emotionally and financially, that means that they have to put their children into places which they could educate themselves in those fields. Even if it will provide their children freedom, so they will get happiness, it's still bad because it means that government wanted to hang their children's life without any control from from their parents and give absolute freedom from child. We believe that absolute freedom will be very bad because children cannot choose what they wanted as a person because they're very fluctuative and they cannot understand what they choose. Notice that children was very irrational and very fluctuative in their choices. Notice that children also have to fall they all have to fall. They also needed emotional connection to be grown as a person and as a part of their growth. That means as a parents, we also have to put our children to be more controlled by the school. So at least when they do something bad, there's a safety net on it. And we believe schools has the minimum parameter of safety net to control our children and going to lead them into a better places as a person. And secondly, they also, and moving to my second point of rebuttals, they also say that by not prioritizing formal education is the only way to be succeed. Our response is no, because formal education in status quo is also progressive to give access for children to grow as they want. Let's take a look at the status quo, such as Merdeka Pelajar programs, or even extra lesson after school, such as debating, extracurricular, or something like that. And we believe that this is going to be better because because when we go to school, we're also going to interact each other, and we could also learn about how to react with the other person, how do we going to talk about relationship by making someone friends, or even create discourse because of discussion in school included many kind of person with every different point of view. Compared to by prioritizing informal school, that means that they just focus on subject, and at the time they feel tired, they have no friends, they have no people to interact with, then they will demotivating themselves because they cannot catch up and find out the meaning of why they do have their informal school and how they are have to succeed. Notice that success is parameters when you could have any kind of recognition, when you have a feel of meaning of someone and emotional connection between people, according to the Maslow theory of happiness. That's why it is going to be more justified in our side by prioritizing a formal education because the benefits that we could get that coming from the exclusive benefits that are coming from our side, and also the benefits that going to take from the informal school. Two things that we want to prove in this debate. First, why this is in line with the interest of parents and children, and secondly, how this is going to fulfill the meaning of education, which cognitive education, emotional education, etc., which in line with the parameters of succeed in 21st centuries. Two arguments. First, why this is in line with the interest of parents. Panels notice that children and our parents are living in a different passage. That means that the parents are tend to not know what is the social living of their children. When the parents don't know about anything, it is not mean that we could give children absolute freedom to choose what they want. And the moment we can prove that formal education is the right place to is a right place to control these children, to capture the minimum level of success and how they are going to act with the other people, we win this debate. We believe that that every children have their own way and their own chances to be grown as a person. Notice that in school, children are not just interacting with books, computers, etc., but also they are going to interact with any other people, such as their friends, teachers, and many other people in school. By interacting with people, that means we will shift a new social standards that they were taught to do with people. From social standards, they could learn about how to act with people's norms, empathy, and how they express their emotional. Comparatively, on the government side, children will only see books, computers, etc. Okay, even if it was in line with their interest, so they will not be bored or getting an emotional illness because they are going to be programmer, YouTuber, etc. We still believe that when they cannot get an executive benefits from formal education, when they could shift their own emotional, at the time they will feel like, okay, I was enough with it. The highest achievement of a person is when you could be, because we believe that the highest achievement of a person is when you could be accepted well by people emotionally and materially, and we believe that formal education is the only way to achieve those things. So at the end, parameters of parenting which making their children happy and succeed will be only happen on our side of the house, because notice that schools is not only just tell you about how do you get your future life, how do you get a succeed, how do you become engineering, how do you become a scientist, etc., but also how do you going to act with the other people, also about how do you shift a new empathy, how do you going to shift a social standards, because the interest of school is not just how tell people to be rich, but also how they are going to act, how they are going to shift the social standards in the public and society itself. So in the end, the benefits will actually happen on our side, and the benefits of government team will also happen on our side. Moving to my second point of argument, how formal education going to create a better living standards. Panels notice that living standards of every person is different. Because of their difference, that means people achievement is never been limited on how wealthy you are. Proposition saying that, oh, in our side, people will be easily seeking jobs easily and they will be happy. No, it is not. In my rebuttals, we believe that their scenario, people will have a different parameter of living. They will be discriminated. People who love to be interacting with people, with the other person, or they just their parameter of happy is how they are going to be accepted by the society, etc., will be discriminated because the parameters of the successful life is about how rich you are. So in the end, it is going to be bad for the children because they forced to be rich, haunted to be much more better, such as happened in Japan or Korea, while their citizen is also being depressed. Comparatively, by prioritizing formal education, then we believe that it is also progressive. That we believe is also progressive on the digital intelligences, such as many inventors like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, etc., are also has been in schools in formal education past before, right? So we believe that curriculum in formal education is also could provides those parameters as on those skills which going to send our children to be their successful materialistic life. And also and also they are not just getting to be more rich as a materialistic, but also they will told to be how they are going to act in the public, how they are going to interacting with people, and also they are going to shift a new social standards. Notice that when you are going to create social standards, that means we're going to shift a new social norms that going to send you how what is the parameters of life. It is if it just how rich you are, or also about how do we interact with other people and emotional connection that going to be happen. So in the end, we believe that opposition win this debate because we can provide a better for living and happiness for the children itself. I close my speech. Thank you.